Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alrighty, today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. Well, there's been a lot of interesting news for DCS and flight sims in general over the past 4 or 5 days since the last news update. One of the things that has popped up, actually more than one really, a ton of information about the Supercarrier. So WAGS has released the Supercarrier FAQ, which goes into detail to let people know a lot of things about the module. One of which is, will the Supercarrier support the Tomcat at early access? And he goes on to say, we're working with Heatblur to make this happen, and we are making progress. We cannot 100% progress that it will be ready for early access launch. It will certainly be ready in short order thereafter. You know what? As much as I wanted it right at the get-go, I'm glad to hear that that is a priority for them by the way they answered that. So I'm really looking forward to that, because the Tomcat is my favorite module, as you all well know. Okay, will the plane directors marshal players and the AI to catapults? Yes, this is in the design specification of the module, but will come after. Will you include a salute animation for the Hornet pilot? Yes, we are currently updating the pilot models for the Hornet and the Viper, and we plan to include some animations. This will come after the initial early access release. Is there also a key command for the salute? Yes, it is left shift plus left control S. Boy, that's a hell of a one. Can you collide with the deck crew? No. At the initial early access release, they have no collision model. Later, we hope to have a form of self-preservation logic to avoid collisions. So in other words, maybe they will run away so you don't hit them to make it more realistic. Will the elevators work? Yes, they will work automatically for the AI to move aircraft off the deck to prevent overcrowding. Later, the inclusion of the air boss station, we will also allow players to manually raise and lower them. That's pretty cool. Will the hangar be included? Yes, and modeling is already underway. However, given pilots never get into or out of their aircraft in the hangars, this is low priority and is scheduled for a later date. Will red shirt ordnance animations be included? We have no such plans at this time due to the unrealistically large investment required to support all weapon types and huge permutations of placement on the aircraft. Fair enough. How will aircraft be moved around the deck for cyclic operations? Actual movement is not possible for static aircraft and deck crew given the nature is static. However, using the mission editor, adding a simple static despawn event for such units is planned. How is the performance? This is a big one. A lot will depend on your computer, how the deck is populated, and the level of detail of the models used to populate the deck. Given the carrier is at sea, there's no terrain or ground objects to render like an airbase. It goes without saying, the larger the number of high poly count aircraft on the deck, bigger the hit. Fair enough. Why is the Supercarrier not free or included with the Hornet? That is a stupid question. I don't know who came up with that one, but I guess they're just trying to make this clear. Tremendous amount of time, effort, and capital has gone into this sophisticated module, and more is still to come. The development cost of the Supercarrier rivals many of our aircraft modules. To include it with the Hornet would drive up the cost of the Hornet to well over $100. Also note that we provided an all-new carrier with the release of the Hornet at no extra cost. They got to make something for doing this. You know what I mean? They definitely deserve, money and compensation for the time and effort they put into the Supercarrier module. So it's just sad that they actually, have to answer that question because somebody is dumb enough to ask that. How will deck crew night launch operations be supported? We are working on the addition of glow sticks and aircraft light flash signals. Vests also have reflective patches. Now that's pretty cool, and this will come after the early access release. In addition to the FAQ, WAGS has also released, as of yesterday, hey everyone, to give you a head start learning our operations around the boat, we've attached a preliminary copy of the DCS Supercarrier Guide created by Bunyap. So you can basically click and download this, and we'll open it. And here we go. This is pretty much the manual for the Supercarrier. And it's the early preliminary version. And it's a PDF. You can download it and scroll through it and kind of get an idea of what you're going to need to know to utilize the Supercarrier to the fullest. And this is pretty cool because it gives you an idea of everything you're going to be able to do, which is pretty awesome. So give that a shot, guys. I'll provide a link at the bottom of the show notes down there. So the biggest and hugest, most piece of news to come out in the past 5 days was literally the day after I posted the last news bit, images of the Eurofighter Typhoon, which is the Eurofighter 2000 module, showed up on the DCS website. And these are work in progress images. Super cool though. And anybody who played the old Eurofighter Typhoon back in the day, well actually it wasn't even called the Typhoon yet, it was just EF-2000 back in the 90s. And then later, I think Rage got their hands on it and fucking ruined it and called it Eurofighter Typhoon. But the original EF-2000 from DID, Digital Image Design, that was fantastic stuff. They also later did F-22 Air Dominance Fighter, which was also another fantastic simulation from back in the day. And these are all work in progress, but there is a ton of images of the Eurofighter for DCS. And I guess the question is more than, and oh, look at that. That's pretty awesome throttle. The bigger question is how is this going to fit in the overall scheme of things with DCS, you know? There's always been talk about, hey, you know, if there was an F-22 in DCS world, well then, you know, nobody else would stand a chance, right? And I don't know if you've ever listened to the episode of the Fighter Pilot podcast where they have the Eurofighter Typhoon pilot on there talking about the Eurofighter and just how fucking amazing this thing is in terms of performance. I don't know how anything is going to stand a chance against this thing in DCS world. I think this module is really going to change the landscape, at least of online play, because they're probably just not going to allow this on many servers, or if they allow it, it's going to be chaos, man, because this thing is just fucking awesome, and it has some crazy weapons as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fits and makes its way into DCS and the impact that it will have on the landscape in general of the entire metagame, really. But it does look awesome, and this is what they announced just a day later, and it's super exciting. Considering this is work in progress and this is early, I wouldn't expect this anytime soon. I would guess that this is probably going to be a 2021 early release project. Unless, you know, they know something we don't, which they probably do. I just don't see this, you know, coming out anytime soon. Alrighty, also to do with the Eurofighter, additionally, on the topic of the EF-2000, there was a post over on the Eagle Dynamics forums, and they call it the FAC Eurofighter Typhoon. The company that is creating the module is called TrueGrit Virtual Technologies. Guy starts the post with, "Hey, my name is Dan Dash. I'm a community manager for TrueGrit. We're proud to announce the Typhoon for DCS today, actually exactly 26 years after its maiden flight in Manching, Germany. I have prepared some facts which I will post today. However, if you have any other questions, feel free to post them below the fact sheet, and I will do my best to get back to all of you as quickly as possible. That's pretty freaking cool. They already have a community manager for TrueGrit Virtual Technologies. And it goes on to say, what is TrueGrit? TrueGrit is a young company created by former Eurofighter pilots, designers, artists, and programmers who all came together with one goal and one goal only, which of course is to bring you the most modern, sophisticated, and agile fighter jet yet to conquer the skies of DCS world. Let's see, when will you release the mighty Eurofighter Typhoon? Our team is working tirelessly to bring this sophisticated and modern jet fighter to you as quickly as possible. Our main goal is to create a Eurofighter Typhoon that exceeds expectations. It is worthy replication of the mostly classified and active war machine. It will take some time. We've just started programming and designing. Since I know that most of you are just as excited as we are to finally fly the Typhoon in the DCS for the first time, I will regularly keep you informed about our progress. If they just started programming, like I said a couple minutes ago, I think this is going to be a 2021 module. Definitely. What tranche nationality can we expect? We are in constant communication with NETMA and our licensor Eurofighter in order to bring you the most current version of the Eurofighter possible without violating classified information. That's going to be really tough too, and that's why I was really surprised when I heard that they're doing a Eurofighter, because it is still active in service, and just like the reason why we don't have a DCS module of the F-22 or the F-35, these things are in service, and the military has to keep these things under wraps in terms of, you know, a lot of the technology and operations of such a fantastic high-performance military aircraft, or our adversaries can get a hold of that information and engineer something to combat it. So these are the reasons why some things, like most of the aircraft in DCS is older aircraft, not so much super new stuff. Where do you get the data necessary for programming the Eurofighter? We've made a huge effort over the past year to gather all publicly available data, and will continue to do so until we are satisfied with the final result. Again, goes back to what I was saying. They can use any publicly available data. And plus, one of the guys working for them is a longtime Eurofighter pilot. So that's going to really help and gives them an edge, I think, in the overall scheme of things. How much will the module cost? Well, we will launch the Typhoon in the class of Epic modules. Expect the price to be in the same range. Well, to me, the Tomcat is an Epic module, and that's about $80. To give you an idea. Multi-crew, no, it is a single seat by nature. Will there be early access available? We will be in close coordination with Eagle Dynamics. I will put a link to this post so you can kind of ride along with it yourselves and ask any questions underneath of that as well. But it's a very exciting time for DCS because, you know, the Eurofighter is coming. Super awesome news. Super awesome. Heatblur had made a small announcement 4 hours ago today, and it says TWS Auto cometh. And some people asked some questions and says, and the new missile logic? Question mark. Its Fox 3 logic is so specific compared to other planes that it is more necessary to have it than this. And then Heatblur answers, missile guidance is 100% on the Eagle Dynamics side. We are waiting for them to share the new API with us. And then it says, another question was, thank you Heatblur, is the carrier planned to release soon? Yes, but to avoid disappointment, we cannot say exactly when. And I think they're talking about their carrier. So a lot of good news this week, and man, I'm dying to see what's going on with the Tomcat, the A model, and all the other updates. It's been kind of quiet, but you know, we are in the middle of a worldwide pandemic at the moment, so I can really understand why things might be trickling out little by little. But it's pretty cool that we're still seeing news and things that are happening. in the world of flight simulations, considering the severity of the worldwide state at the moment. Very cool stuff, though. I still have an interview out there with Heatblur that's months old, so I'm going to have to get a hold of them again and see if I can maybe update those questions and see if they have time to possibly answer them anytime soon. Definitely would be cool if we got that A model Tomcat. Plus, that would go right along the lines with, I believe, was it Reflected Simulations that was doing the Tomcat campaign that was based on the A model as well? That 80s campaign that looked pretty cool. Cool stuff, nonetheless. Alrighty, in Virpil news, it looks like the guys at Virpil have released version 3 desk mounts. Those look pretty neat. I'm not too familiar with all the Virpil stuff. Just don't have $1,000 to throw away at the moment to, wait 3 months and get something in the mail. But their stuff does look pretty freaking awesome, and one of these days I plan to get my hands on it and give it a shot. I really would like to get a hold of their throttle. That new throttle looks really cool. But, it's going to take some time. But anyways, they did release version 3 of their desk mounts, and they do look rather cool. Definitely well built by looking at things. In other news, there is a mod being created of T45, and I saw this the other day. I guess these are the guys that are working the pit in the C model of the T45. Good news, we've somewhat believable flight model. It will be SFM. Still some carrier launch and recovery bugs that we have to work out. So there is a T45 module created by a third-party developer that looks like it'll probably be free whenever these ones are created by other people that aren't large companies. So that might be something to look forward to. In IL2 news, on the 27th, they posted their latest dev blog, number 246, and they go on to talk about the damage model and some of the things they've been pulling off. In addition to that, they've posted some shots of the YAK-9 cockpit that look pretty damn cool. Although I'm yet to find, anything in IL2 that looks shitty, to be honest. I mean, pretty awesome stuff. And this is the Collectors Plane YAK-9 that they're showing us. Really nice images. I'm going to have to jump in and do some more IL2 this week myself. It's been a crazy past month, that's for sure, with everything that's going on. But I will post a link to this at the bottom of the video, as usual. Well, let's end this with DCS still has their, stay-at-home sale going on. A lot of the modules are still on sale. And I believe today and yesterday were free trial for the Mirage 2000. Definitely give that a shot, guys. The Mirage 2000 is a fantastic plane. Very cool stuff. And if you look in the last video show notes, you could probably find the list for what is next in the free trial that they're pulling off here for over the next couple weeks. As for the state of the channel, man, I've been kind of slow with some things, It's been hard to find motivation with all the stupid, scary shit that's going on in the world right now, And then just, keeping up with work and trying to stay safe in the overall scheme of things, I'm an automation technician by trade. And I install high-end home theater, whole house audio, smart homes, automated HVAC, automated everything. If I can get a wire to it or get something to talk to something, Wi-Fi, or put in a commercial grade network, those are kind of the things I do. It's almost a jack of all trades kind of career. And it's been really hard for us lately. Still getting paid at the moment. Don't know how long that's going to go. And then, like the rest of the world, maybe stuck at home, quarantining and staying in place to, avoid chaos, I guess. And it's getting pretty scary out there for sure. Kind of hoping for sooner than later to be able to do that. And it's just been tough to come up with ideas and to sit behind the computer even for a long enough period of time to do something like this. I really need to, I think. I need to get away. I need to do something that gets your mind off of the stupidity and chaos that's going on in the world at the moment. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But the good thing is, you know, personally, I've met like the most awesome woman I've ever met in my lifetime throughout all of this. So there's an awesome new beautiful woman in my life, which just blows my mind on a daily basis. And I've been able to actually get healthier in the overall scheme of things too. You know, I work out a lot. I'm in great shape for my age. I've already dumped 10 pounds, and you know, my health is improving overall from that. And there has been some good to come of all this recently. So I don't usually sit here and talk about my personal life and what's going on, but I thought maybe you guys might like to get to know me and to know who is behind all this stuff. And that's a little bit about me. Those are the things I do, you know. I have had more time to spend with my family throughout all this. I have 4 kids that I raised on my own over the past probably decade and a half or something. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy to be so hot and so cold at the moment because I'm in such a happy place right now, but at the same time I'm in a very stressed out and anxiety place too because of everything that's going on in the world. And you know, I've got type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, so me dropping some weight and you know, getting out of my power lifter slash bodybuilder, or going from more of a power lifter body to a more bodybuilder and lean, healthier body has been very good for me with all of this too. So it's an interesting time, you know. It's so weird to just be so wickedly happy and at the same time be so on the edge and full of anxiety because of everything that's going on in the world. So I do suggest that anybody, you know, do what you have to throughout all this to kind of make some healthier changes in your life. I know a lot of guys that play flight simulations and stuff are my age. I'm 49, I'll be 50 in September, and you know, this is an interesting age to be because if you have any kind of health issues, they're going to pop up right now. Late 40s suck, guys. It really does. So, you know, I have an edge because I've always been really in good shape, strong, big, muscular, and it's helped me throughout the years. But you know, some things still creep up on you and get under the radar, you know, and get in that shot. But yeah, I just suggest and hope that everybody would take advantage of this time of being at home and don't just sit on your ass and get fatter, you know. Do something to make a healthy change in your life, because if you do, you'll be around the next 20 years to be able to fly these new flight sims, and it's a fucking fantastic time to be in flight simulation. It really is. It's the most exciting time in our lives right now. Back in the 90s, man, I could have never dreamed of having stuff like this, you know, but now we do. And it's getting better and better and better by the day, guys. You know, do something to change your lifestyle so you'll be here to enjoy them. You know, because I know that like the demographic for what we do is probably my age. At least the majority of them. You know, there's a lot of kids that are getting into this, which is pretty fucking awesome and exciting. But man, I guarantee you the majority of us came from the golden age in the 90s up until now. And you're all probably about my age, man. So do something, you know what I mean, to help yourself out, man. Don't let this pandemic ruin your life. You know, it's like I have anxiety real bad from everything going on right now. But like at the same time, I'm working really hard to get healthier too. There are things you can do, you know. Walk up and down the steps, man. Eat better. You know, don't fucking graze all day long because you're stuck at home. You know, those are the easy things to do. Make a positive change, you know. You'll thank me for it later for sure. And hey, I'm going to throw this out there. If anybody needs any help with something like that, you know, get a hold of me. I've been working out on and off all of my life. You know what I mean? Muscle remembers, you know. It takes work. But like there are little things that you can do to improve your life, you know. You don't have to be 250 pounds. You don't have to be 300 pounds. You don't have to be, you know what I mean? Whatever weight you are, You know, there are things you can do to improve your lifestyle, and some of them really ain't that hard. Some of them is a lifestyle change, but you know, there are little things you can do to make improvements, definitely. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. The rant is done, but I just wanted to throw that out there because of everything that's going on in the world right now, and I've seen some positive results throughout the chaos, which is really cool. So anyways, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please stay safe. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time, guys,